Malati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddhavaradamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Savitam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamascha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishkatam Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishna Manusute Devi Pranamami Hare Hare Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedanta Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone to this initiation event. Let's see, we need translation. Well, maybe afterwards can be translated. Is it being, yes, it's being recorded. Yes. So, okay. So initiation, we call this in English. It's called Diksha in Sanskrit. We have two stages of initiation in our tradition. And so we have Sandra receiving the first stage, first initiation. And we have Malati and Nadya and Nimay receiving the second stage in the process. In one sense, it's an ongoing process. The practice of Krishna consciousness is ongoing from the first day that we catch the idea, yes, let me take up this practice of Krishna consciousness, all the way back to home, back to Godhead, ongoing process of initiation. And when we go back home, back to Godhead, then the process continues. Or we might say that's when it really starts. So we have some examples in our tradition, so many examples of initiation. We might think a little about these. We have, I was remembering, we have in the Bhagavatam the story, the account of Narada Muni, how he became Narada Muni. He was, in effect, initiated by some anonymous Vaishnavas, devotees. Srila Prabhupada refers to them as the Bhakti Vedantas, plural. He says because they were serving him, because he was serving them as a young boy, so they became very pleased and they blessed him. So that blessing, in one sense, was the beginning of his spiritual life, or we may say his serving them was the beginning of his spiritual life. And we know that at one point, while he was still very young, there occurred a great misfortune in his life. his mother departed the world very suddenly. He said from being bitten by a snake. And it's also significant that who was his mother? His mother was not a queen, not a highly posted person, not of a Brahmana background. She was of a simple, humble background. She's referred to as a maid servant, a very simple background. Narada was the son, and his qualification was that he simply served these visiting sadhus for some days. That was his qualification. Such that he was, in effect, launched on the search for the Supreme Lord. So that after his mother died, he began to wander. And wandering, he became very absorbed in meditation. And at one point, the Lord appeared before him. The Lord himself appeared. And we may say this was also initiation. The Lord appeared only briefly, and then he said, okay, that's all you're going to see of me in this life. And then he continued his life remembering his vision of the Lord, such that at the moment of his departure from the world, he was able to immediately launch into the identity as Narada in his next life. So that's one case, you could say, of initiation. Another is, in a way, the other way around. Narada becomes the guru. And again, we have a very young person, namely Dhruva, who is a small boy. And unlike Narada, he is coming from a twice-born background. He's coming from a Kshatriya background. His father is a great king. And Dhruva has a problem, and the problem is that he wants to outdo his brother. He's a very competitive fellow. And he feels he's been insulted, and so in his frustration, his mother gives him a suggestion. In this sense, his mother becomes a kind of guru. We say Vartma Pradarshaka, one who shows the way, the Vartma, the path. She says, well, I've heard that those who are seeking the Lord go to the forest, and there they perform austerity. I don't think she even says austerity, but they go to the forest. So immediately Dhruva decides, okay, if that's what's necessary, then I'm out of here. And he leaves and goes to the forest, and he begins to wander about rather aimlessly until Narada appears before him. And Narada says, my dear little boy, what are you up to? And he says, I'm here to find the Supreme Personality of God. And Narada says, I think you're a bit young for that. Why don't you go back home? And Dhruva says, no, I think I won't go back home. I want to find the Supreme Personality of God because I want to, at this time he had a very mundane purpose. He wanted to gain a kingdom that was greater than that of his grandfather. So Narada saw that he was resolved, and therefore he decided to initiate him. mantra. Mantra is, you could say, the sort of key element of initiation. Mantra, we understand, is a form of the Lord. In first initiation, we have a kind of confirmation to continue what we're already doing, hopefully, namely chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And there is a tradition, although there is also another tradition, but there is a tradition that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received this Maha Mantra from his guru, Ishvara Puri. Somebody's phone is ringing. No? Yes. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in any case, initiates all of us into the chanting of Hare Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says anyone who is chanting Hare Krishna regularly, it can be understood that that person has received the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that sense, Hare Krishna initiation, it's already done. Now we're all chanting Hare Krishna, whether formally initiated or not, so in that sense, initiation takes place. Diksha, the ending of material life and the receiving of transcendental knowledge. This is Jiva Goswami's explanation of what the word Diksha means. We have other mantras, additional mantras, in the second stage of initiation, and its tradition tells us that these mantras are not, unlike the Maha Mantra, they are not broadcast. They are given privately to the disciples. And this is more than one mantra. This will keep you very busy. Chanting so many mantras. But we will explain about this after the worship of Lord Vishnu in the form of fire. So yes, what do I want to say? Dhruva Maharaj received a mantra from Narada Muni. He said, chant this mantra. Okay, so he chanted the mantra. And he kept chanting the mantra, and he kept chanting the mantra, and he kept chanting the mantra. And he became so absorbed in chanting the mantra that basically he gave up and forgot about taking care of his body. He just became absorbed in chanting the mantra, which is not a secret. It's Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, which is a very nice mantra, which is not the mantra that we chant for whatever reasons. But we do chant that mantra when we begin as an invocation for reciting Shastra. So, Dhruva received this mantra and he resolved that he would chant this mantra until he obtained his goal. And his goal was, as I mentioned, to have darshan of the Supreme Lord. And this happened. The Lord appeared. When the Lord appeared, what happened? Dhruva became embarrassed. He was so thrilled, of course, to have the darshan of the Lord, and at the same time he became so embarrassed. And why was he embarrassed? Because he realized his purpose in practicing the meditation that he had been doing was not the right purpose. His purpose had been quite mundane. And now, having the darshan of the Lord, he realized, oh, there's actually a whole bigger vision which I have missed. But Dhruva was blessed, and we may say that this was his third initiation. First his mother, then Narada, and then the Lord himself initiated him into the full understanding of what spiritual life is, namely simply surrender to the Lord, service to the Lord for the sake of, for the purpose of pleasing the Lord without any selfish motivation for oneself. Ahaituki, ahetu, without cause. Ahetuki, apratihata, without interruption. So these initiations are there described to give us inspiration that we can also follow in this tradition. We're all very fortunate. We have a tradition to follow. Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, H.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, ventured across the sea just to give this tradition to us, to give this opportunity for all of us to take shelter of the Lord, to take shelter of the teachings of the Lord as given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Cheto Darbana Marjanam, Bhavamahadavagni Nivapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidya Vadu Jivanam, Anandam Buddhivardhanam, Pratipadam Purnam Vidasvadanam, Sarvatma Snapanam Padam, Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. We can all take part in Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, make this our life's goal. Participate means also with others, not that I will take initiation and I will go off on my own and imitate Dhruva Maharaj. No. Might work, everything's possible, but recommended and certainly followed by us is that we remain in the association of devotees. We especially encourage devotees to participate in this society that Srila Prabhupada established, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which, he said, is there for the purpose of hearing about Krishna. So we hear about Krishna together, we chant about Krishna together, we glorify, we remember Krishna together, and in this way, very happily go back home, back to Godhead. A nice place to go. Highly recommended. Best place. Not comparable to any place in this world. No matter how nice a place in this world might be, it doesn't match the spiritual place of Krishna and his devotees. So let's do that, and let's not keep it for ourselves. Let's, as followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, let's do whatever we can to bring others, to invite others to also take part in Sankirtanam, in the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right, I think I'll leave it at that. What do you think? Shall we leave it at that? There's so much could be said, but we will leave it at that. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, what should we do now? Initiation names. Okay, let's do that. after all these years of chanting Hare Krishna, maybe it's time to make it official, right? Maybe. Why not? So there are some regulative principles you've been following and will continue to follow. What are these?
No gambling, no eat meat, eggs and fish, no illicit sex, and no intoxication.
Okay, very good. And then there is chanting of Hare Krishna. 16 rounds as best you can. We know your situation makes it sometimes difficult, but as best as your energy allows. Okay? Would you like to be known as Sandra Devi Dasi, or would you like another name? Maybe. I was thinking maybe another name. Well, what is that? The name I was thinking, I think is a very nice name, but let's see. I was thinking of the name Saraswati Devi Dasi. What do you think? It's okay? Okay. It's for you. I've chanted several rounds on this piece. Hare Krishna. Saraswati is the river Saraswati and also the goddess Saraswati. The river is very much debated. Where is that river? Because it seems to have disappeared. The tradition says it's invisible and it comes out, or it appears or joins the Ganga and the Yamuna at the Tribeni, the Sangam, which is at present-day Allahabad or Prayag. The goddess Saraswati, who is identified with the river, is very special. She is very much worshipped in the Vedas. You want to sit on the chair? That's okay if you want to sit on the chair. Later. Okay. She's very much worshipped. She's identified also with the goddess Vach. Vach is the goddess of speech, and also of music, and of learning. And in India, many people, especially children, worship Goddess Saraswati on a certain day so that they will pass their exams. So, yes, Saraswati is very nice. She's worshipped on I think it's the day of worship is the same day as the first day of spring in the Indian tradition of Vasanta Panchami, which was just a few days ago. So there you are. Saraswati Devi Dasi ki Jai! And you already have your names. Unless you want other names. We want new names. No? Same name? It's okay. Okay, I think you have enough wood there.
Krishna Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Krishna Kshetra Dasaya Prabhupada Priyayate Shila Vrita Gunadharam Kalamitam Riktarnavam Bhakti Sarvanga Kovidam Mam Upadhyayam Imahi Swaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Swaha Namaste Saraswati Viruddha Apasidanta Hanta Harine Swaha Namo Gaurakishwaraya Swaha Namo Bhaktivinodhaya Sachitananda Namine Gaura Shakti Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Avanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha Namo Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Swaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Swaha. He says we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times, and then after 3 times then we do Swaha. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare